So I often have wondered who said that and to send them a thank you note. But it happened to be the building that I just described to you. But you know, those people, they were attached to that. They really suffered for a month or longer because that was their school. They had all the generations gone to school there. They sold bricks that they dug out of the smoldering from the fire. But there was enough cleaning fluid on the wood. Once it started, they wasn't putting that one out. So we built a new school that's called Callaway High School to house that part of our population. We had a middle school and a high school in each zone with 3 to 5 elementaries that fed them and then did it geographically where it's close. But we also, when we drew those lines, there were city children and county children in every one of those middle schools and every one of those high schools. Staffing is a whole other issue that you get to, and is oftentimes a very emotional issue to deal with. Part of what we did under those conditions, as we went through with the staffing assignments, I think I transferred 19 assistant principals and about 14 principals, I think, to new schools. Paired them with a city. If it was a city principal, they got a county assistant principal, and we matched them all up that way. Assigning teaching staff was like an NFL draft. We allowed each principal to select 5 people from their staff to build their staff around. From there, everybody else, teachers were given first choice, second choice, third choice. 86% of the teachers got their first or second choice in the school. But each principal, we spent 4 days behind closed doors all day long working on staffing those schools. And each principal was held responsible for the information they supplied about every teacher. We told the teachers, with the agreement we had with the Justice Department, you had to stay there for a year. At the end of 1 year, if you're not happy, all you got to do is request a transfer, and then we will process it. At the end of the year, we only had 6 transfers requested at the end of the year. So we felt like we did a pretty good job with that part of it as we worked through with our teachers. But change is not easy. We had to pass a bond issue to build schools. Once again, the state stepped up to the plate. They provided $13.2 million. But with what all we had to do, that wasn't close. We had to have a bond issue, $21 million in addition to that for what we needed to do. We had a very active, what was called the Troup County Taxpayers Association. The Troup County taxpayers were against virtually everything. Their mission was to destroy this because a lot of them were county residents who we were not allowed to vote in the county. And some of those people eventually came around. Some of them are still in their grave hating the day that happened. So, you know, it affects different people in different ways. But we went through that process. During the process of why we were trying to get the bond issue passed, they filed ethics charges against me and one of our principals. I had to appear before the Ethics Commission because they said that I propagandized the election because I went and spoke to different civic clubs and other organizations about why the money was needed. The Ethics Commission, of course, cleared us of everything. On the night of the vote on the bond issue, the bonds vote passed by 2 votes. Of course, the Taxpayers Association immediately demanded a recount. The recount, it passed by 3 votes. Our board chair stood up at the board meeting and said, that's a public mandate, begin construction immediately. And so we began to try to provide facilities where it didn't matter where you went to school, you had comparable facilities for your child to be in, which was far better than what we had before with some of the buildings that our children were attending. Ms. Morgan, when you get to the questions on curriculum and instruction, she spent an inordinate amount of time on staff development, on course offerings, taking what was the best of everything and